Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the interbubs. This is a very frickin' salty ReNDoG coming at you in another episode of Modded Minecraft from the FoolCraft 2 server. And speaking of fools, my friends, do you see that beacon behind me over there? That is a death beacon for me. That happened about 10 minutes ago. The freaking Iskallium came over here, murdered me in cold blood while I was getting ready for today's episode. Take a look at this. ReNDoG was slain by Iskallium. Falsey warned me because he had just killed Falsey, and I logged in, and literally within a couple of minutes I was slain by the frickin' Iskall. Also, he did it on stream. He did it live in front of all his frickin' Iskallians. And my friends, this is not cricket. This is not going to fly with Team Serious. Iskall can't just be coming up in here and slaying me like nobody's business. Something needs to be done about this today, guys. And, well, I'm going to take a step with you guys today to get Team Serious a little bit closer to being able to freaking defend ourselves around here. I know that Stress Monster is working hard on making us some seriously OP weapons and armor, so that's good. But as we know, my friends, an army marches on its stomach, does it not? I believe it was Julius Caesar who said that, or maybe it was Tyrion Lannister. I don't know, but we need to have some proper foodage for Team Serious. Last time we were together, we put together this cow murdering facility, and we are making steak right now. But guys, we're playing modded Minecraft. We can get much better food than steak. And have a look at this. I've been looking for some interesting things that I can feed my teammates, and there's something here called steak and chips. Oh, that sounds absolutely delicious. To make steak and chips, we need raw beef, a skillet, and some fries. And that is going to be pretty insane. Look at that, 20 times food saturation, which is pretty ridiculous considering a steak is only what, like 6.5 or something. So we're going to be finding a way to automatically produce steak and chips today, guys. It's going to be awesome. We've got the beef producing facility. Now all we need to do is make the fries and automate the production of the steak and chips, and it's going to be awesome. I got a plan, man. I was on stream the other day, and with my stream we managed to figure out a way to make steak and chips, and today we're going to be doing it together. But before we get to any of that jazz, I have discovered for myself a little bit of a decorative baby zombie. And as Team Serious Cave is currently being completely filled up with random junk everywhere, well, let's kick off today's episode by plonking a baby zombie somewhere. Let's stick it right over here if we can. Can we stick it there? No. Okay. Can we stick it over here? There we go. He's looking at the money box. He's a greedy, money-hungry little baby zombie, man. Oh, that's awesome. I know that Stress is going to love that little thing. So yeah, steak and chips day. That's what we're doing today, guys. But before we get to any of that technical jazz, I want to spend a little bit of time making myself a decent pickaxe. The time has come for us to have a better tool in FoolCraft 2. I mean, we can't be walking around with this diamond pickaxe. Honestly, that is just ridiculous if you ask me. So, I'm over here at Good Times with Scar's beautiful Tinker's Smeltery facility over here. I've got a chest full of sweet stuff that we're going to be using. And together, my friends, let's kick off today's episode making ourselves a decent freaking pickaxe, right? Sounds like a plan to me. Now, if you've never used Tinker's Construct before, it's very, very simple. You got to get all of this stuff made, of course. Good Times with Scar did it in his episode, so go check it out if you want a little bit of a refresher course on how this is made. But basically, we are going to be making a pickaxe out of not aluminium. That's probably not what we want to use. We want to use a material called alumite. And alumite is a very sweet material to be using, and I picked up aluminium instead of alumite. So let's have a look. I hope I've got some alumite in the system over here. There we go. Alumite blocks. Yep, we got a little bit of alumite. That's going to be very good for our pickaxe. I'm going to explain exactly why, guys. But first, let's make for ourselves all the bits and pieces that we need for a decent pickaxe in FoolCraft 2. We're going to be making our pickaxe head out of alumite. So let's head over here to the smelter controller and smelt down a little bit of this alumite blockage over here. Wow, that is going to take a pretty long time to smelt. So I guess we can probably make something else while that's waiting. What we're going to be doing is making a pickaxe out of alumite. We're also going to be using paper for the binding of the pickaxe, and we are going to be making the tool rod out of manulin. And I think we've actually got manulin in here. Yeah, we got a bit of manulin in there. So let's cook ourselves up a beautiful manulin tool rod. That's going to be the rod of our pickaxe. And we're going to wait for that alumite to smelt, but that's going to cook away very nicely. And let's make ourselves the binder too, which I believe is made in this thingy-majingy over here. Yeah, the part builder. So we're going to be making our binding out of paper. The reason that we're doing this, of course, is that we want to be able to put a lot of things onto our pickaxe, a lot of modifiers, that's it, because we want to make our pickaxe indestructible, right? And we need a little bit of paper to in order to do that. So let's pick ourselves up a little bit of paper binding action over here. Our alumite should be smelted now, or almost smelted anyway, so that's sweet. Let's pick up our beautiful Manulan tool rod, and we're going to be using this thingy over here, the tool forge, to make for ourselves a pickaxe. We've got the paper binding. Now that we've got the tool rod too, we can stick that in there, and all we need now is the pickaxe head. So let's just wait for this alumite to smelt. Just a couple more pixels to go. Dudes, I'm so salty, man. I cannot believe I just got murdered like that. Second episode in a row that I have been murdered while I'm trying to record for you guys. I tell you what, man, things are getting real up on the FoolCraft server this season. Oh man, I need to get myself geared up. I'm tired of getting wrecked all the time, man. Anyway, there we go. Some molten alumite is in the house right now, so let's make ourselves that beautiful pickaxe head. I love Tinker's Construct so much, right? I love how you can forge these things like this. I think it's so cool. Anyway, progress there, 100%. Boom, baby! Now we got for ourselves a pretty decent pickaxe here in the tool forge. Let's get back to that, and let's make this bad boy like a so. And can we name this thing, what should we call it? I guess we could call it the, like, I don't know, the ReNDoG 7001. Yeah, I guess that'll work. The ReNDoG 7001. Beautiful. Now, this thing is pretty good right now. However, there's a lot of stuff that we can do to this pickaxe to make it a lot better. And what I want to start doing is working toward making it indestructible, right? And what we need to do to make this bad boy indestructible is make a couple of reinforcements. Now, let me just get a little bit of gold in here because we might need a bit of that. And let's just have a look at this. Reinforcements. There we go. That's what it is over here. The reinforcement is made out of obsidian and flat pieces of gold over here. And we can make these flat pieces of gold right here by just smelting down some of that gold and then setting gold to be poured out of these little things. And then we can make a couple of these plates over here, these golden plates, right? I've actually made quite a few of them already. So just wanted to show you guys exactly how we make this jazz. I know some of you guys are new to FoolCraft and you appreciate it when us fools take you step by step through this business. Now, let's make ourselves some of these reinforcements. So those blank casts go in there and then the obsidian goes around it. And let's just make like 5 of these for now, right? Let's head back to our tool forge over here, get that ReNDoG 7001 in there, and we can actually start plonking some of the reinforcement onto the ReNDoG. So let's put 1 on there, a second one that's reinforced 3, and that is reinforced 4, and that should be indestructible. This is reinforced 4, but unfortunately we don't have enough modifiers. We need 1 more modifier, and the best way for us to get 1 more modifier is to level up our pickaxe, right? You can actually gain levels on your tools from Tinker's Construct, which is really sweet. So let's just head all the way down here into this area, and all we need to do is literally do some vein mining around here. I mean, we can literally just come here and do a little bit of this jazz. Boom! There we go. We begin to feel comfortable with the ReNDoG 7001, and I think we probably have another modifier on here. Let's just level it up 1 more time, collect a little bit of iron, and maybe just do another big vein mine over there, and let's have a look. How close are we to the next level? All right, 1 more vein mine should do it, so let's just do another little vein mine over there. Okay, so that's 2 levels on the ReNDoG 7001. Let's head upstairs now and see if we can add the indestructible reinforcement to our pickaxe, and that way it's never going to break, which is pretty sweet. So let's get back to the tool forge over here. Oh, that lag, man. All right, there we go. That should make it unbreakable. Nice. Okay, so now the pickaxe is completely unbreakable, right? So if we come down here and, I don't know, just mine over here, for example, it's not going to lose durability at all. So we have an instant mining, vein mining, indestructible pickaxe, which is pretty freaking sweet. Now, the reason that we used alumite for this, guys, is because we can actually use this pickaxe now to send items directly into a colossal chest by, I think, clicking on the interface of the colossal chest, which I think is up here. This is where we are currently making beautiful stakes for Team Serious. I think it's here. There we go. Okay, so now we've linked the inventory, right? So check it out. If we mine this block out, it completely disappears and it gets sent straight into this colossal chest. There it is, right? Absolutely sweet. Not really useful at the moment, but I'm pretty happy about that because now we can go mining for stuff if we need to in the future. And we can make it a little bit better. Now, what we can also do, of course, is increase the speed of the pickaxe. Cobblestone, please get into the system over there. We can also increase the speed of this pickaxe by adding some redstone to it, right? So let's head back to that tool forge over here, and let's plonk some redstone on this bad boy. And I think we can put as much redstone on it as it still has modifiers, I think, but there you can see it's increasing the haste of it, right? And obviously we need a ton of redstone to increase the speed of this bad boy, but you get the picture, man. I can literally throw a bunch of redstone in this thing and eventually it's going to get super haste. At the moment we're on 50 haste. We want to get that all the way up to like insane haste, right? And that way we'll be able to sort of mine through stuff really quickly, although we're probably going to be using this pickaxe mostly for vein mining and stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we got a beautiful pickaxe now. Everybody, you can stop shouting at me for having janky tools, okay? The ReNDoG has made a decent pickaxe for us in FoolCraft 2, finally. And, well, it's time to get technical, my friends. Let's find a way to automate the production of delicious, tasty, juicy-ass steak and chips, baby. Well, guys, I gotta tell you, man, it sure does feel good to finally have a proper freaking pickaxe in this series. No more diamond pickaxes for the ReNDoG, baby. I have leveled up the Ren pick to master level, and I've popped a whole bunch of redstone on it. It is mining now at a speed of 26.45, which is more than enough speed that we need for this stage of the series. Until we start working on the main Team Serious base, I guess. And off camera, I'll definitely be leveling this bad boy up a little bit more. But guys, we don't have time for leveling up, because today we're getting technical up in here, man. Today, we're going to try and make a steak and chips factory. It's actually going to be rather complicated, so sit back and get ready for your brains to cook a little bit. I need a sip of this beverage over here to engage my own brain. Here we go. Coffee straight to the buttholio. Now I can actually get technical over here. Take a look at the recipe for this bad boy. We need to make steak and chips out of a raw steak, a skillet, and some fries. Now, to make fries, we need potatoes, bakeware, and salt. And to make salt, we need a pot with a bucket of water in it. So to make steak and chips, we have got multi-levels of automatic crafting that we need to do, right? We need to automatically craft the steak and chips. We need to automatically craft the fries. And we need to automatically craft the salt. Now, we actually have a very useful little tool in FoolCraft that will do all three of those things for us at exactly the same time. Got a Hermitron booster pack here with everything that we need for today's episode. I know, crazy organized, right? Very, very irregular for the ReNDoG. But yeah, this is going to be quite a complicated factory, so I want to try be as organized as possible. We're going to be using something called a Crafter Tier 2 to generate all of these different things. Take a look at this. This is from RF Tools, and it's actually pretty cheap to make. To make a Crafter Tier 2, you just need some crafting tables and redstone torches around a Crafter Tier 1, which is made out of the same thing, and a machine frame, which is just made out of blue dye and gold and iron. So actually a pretty cheap thing to build. And what we can do here is we can set some recipes in this crafter. So the first thing that we're going to do is try and set the recipe, I guess, for steak and chips itself, right? Which, of course, we need a skillet, and we need those fries, which we don't have yet, and we need some raw beef, right? I suppose we can also set the recipe for the fries, which needs potatoes, bakeware, and salt, but we actually don't have the salt yet. So let's just get these things into the crafter for now. Just get them out of the way. We'll get back to them in a second. Let me get this out of my inventory. It's kind of messing with my OCD a little bit. I guess we need to go all the way back to the beginning then, right? Let's get back to our steak and chips recipe. I guess we need to start making the fries because we got the raw steak coming out of our beef farm over there, and we need to get the fries cooking, right? So let's have a look at this. The salt we need to make out of a pot and some water, or a bucket of water, right? And to make a pot is pretty easy, man. Just some iron nuggets and a stick. Very, very simple to make. But this salt is going to be a little bit tricky to make, right? And I've got a plan for this. Now, take a look at this. There is a very interesting thing that we can use over here in FoolCraft called a sink. And basically what a sink is, it's basically a water source. It counts as a water source that you can plug things into. You can actually get water out of a sink, right? Made out of iron, a bucket of water, and some loggages. Already made this bad boy. And we're going to use a mechanical user to get water out of this sink, right? So let's get a bucket over here, and let's see if we can actually get this set up. So take a look at this, right? We're going to set the sink up over here. And if I right-click on the sink, we get a bucket of water, right? And you can do this over and over again. You can create as much water as you want out of a sink. It's an infinite water source, basically. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's what I'm thinking. We could use this sink to generate an infinite amount of water buckets using a mechanical user. And we use the mechanical user over at the Fluid Cow factory, and we can make good use of it right here. So let's plonk the mechanical user over that sink like that, right? Let's stick a bucket in there, and let's change this to... Let's have a look. Activate block with item. Okay, there we go. Activate block with item. Fantastic. So now the mechanical user is sucking the water out of the sink and then putting the water back into the sink. But at least we are getting water out of that sink right now, right? Excellent. So that's going to be a fantastic first step for us to get buckets of water. I guess the next thing that we need to do, if we go back to our steak and chips recipe up in this business, is we need to actually combine that bucket of water with a pot inside of some sort of an auto crafting mechanism, which is right over here, right? So let's get that bucket of water that's just been made. And now what we can do is get our pot over here, and let's set up our very first recipe, which is going to be salt, right? We're going to put the bucket of water and the pot into the auto crafter, apply that recipe. Now, whenever a bucket of water goes into this auto crafter with a pot, have a look at this, boom, it's going to make some salt for us over there, right? But obviously what's happened is it's sucked out the pot and the bucket out of the auto crafter, and we're going to have to do some configuration work to fix this and find a way to get this pot and this bucket back into the crafter, and of course the bucket back into the mechanical user, so that the mechanical user can actually redo that process. And we want to try and automate that, but one step at a time here, my friends. Next up, I guess we need to make some fries over here, right? So let's get our bakeware, our salt, and our potato out. And I think if we just put them in like a so, we should get some tasty fries, baby. Nice. Okay, so we got the fries. Now what I want to do is set up all of the different recipes inside of our crafter. So we got one for salt. Now we need one for fries. But I just used my bucket of water. So let me just do this again over here, right? And let's make ourselves... what are we making again? Oh, some salt. Okay, so let's put the water in here. I know it's getting complicated, dudes. It's getting absolutely complicated here. Not a problem, though. We got this, baby. We got this. Okay, so next recipe is going to be for the fries, right? Which is going to be bakeware, a potato, and some salt. That's going to make fries. Beautiful. Okay, so now we got the fries in the auto crafter. Next step is going to be to make the steak and chips, right? That's what we got to do next? Yeah, we got to make the steak and chips. Okay, so next recipe over here, we've got to double click on that bad boy. Raw beef, a skillet, and those tasty fries, baby. And that's going to make steak and chips. Okay, nice. That's looking real, real good. So we've got a recipe for salt. We've got the recipe for fries, and we've got the recipe for steak and chips. Now we got to try and find a way to get all of these resources ticking through some sort of a system over here, right? Because as we've seen with this crafter, whenever it makes one of these things, it actually consumes those items and then pushes them out via this output node over here. So we want to find a way to get the stuff that's coming out of the crafter back into the different machines that need to create the different materials. And of course, the last thing that we're going to need to do is find a way to automatically grow these potatoes, right? Which I suppose should be the next step before we get to any crafting. Let's find a way to automatically produce a ridiculous amount of potatoes. I got a solution, baby. You guys are gonna like this. You know, guys, one of the things I find most difficult and frustrating about modded Minecraft is there are at least 10 to 20 ways that you can do a single task, right? And sometimes for me, it's better to just go back to the basics instead of getting super complicated. And I'm going to do that with you guys right now, man. We are going to be growing potatoes the good old-fashioned way. We're not going to be using any fancy mystical agricraft or any of that jazz to make potatoes. We are going to be growing them the good old-fashioned Minecraft vanilla way in a little bit of a farm over here. But we are going to be using modded to farm those potatoes because we don't want to have to come back here and and manually farm those potatoes, right? That's going to be an absolute pain in the butthole. So we are going to set up a little potato farm out here just using the good old-fashioned vanilla hoe. Get some of these potatoes grown over here, and I've made like a tiny little farm over here for the potatoes. And what we're going to be using is something called a farming station from Ender.io, and this is a fantastic little tool. Absolutely amazing. You need some pulsating crystals, which you make from diamonds and pulsating iron, and you need a Z-Logic controller, which we've made already, some electrical steel, some machine chassis action, all of this jazz we've made in the series already, and we're actually getting electrical steel from the fluid cow farm, so that's amazing. We have all the resources that we need to do this, and the farming station is really sweet. Basically what it does is it automatically farms crops around it. It's basically like an automatic villager. It does require power though, of course, and that's why we're building this bad boy right next to Scar's beautiful Iskallium reactor over here, so we can plug this farm directly in to our power source. Now let's get all of our potatoes planted over here, and let's put this farming station on top of the water source over here. Okay, beautiful. I've already been doing some experimenting with it, which is why it's already configured, but don't you worry guys, I'm going to show you guys exactly how this thing is going to work. Okay, let's head over here and get ourselves some Ender energy conduits. This is going to be the first thing that we need to do, is get some power into this sucker, and we got a power line right here that we can tap into, right? So let's pull a cable all the way over here, and I guess we'll make the cable come out the top of this bad boy. Yeah, and I think I just broke a crop over there, which kind of sucks, but that's okay. Let's get that power into our farming station like so, and that thing should start getting fired up now. Let me just fix this also, replant the potato up in here. Okay, so how does this farming station work? Well, now that it's got power, what we can do is actually put potato seeds in here. We have to unlock these positions, and we'll put some potato seed action in here. And I don't know if it's actually going to plant a potato for us. Let's just have a look. Oh, okay, it's got no seeds in it right now. It actually needs to get filled up with seeds. But what it's going to do, once it has enough seed action, I think it's got to be in there, right? Maybe not. Maybe if we just put some potatoes in all of the corners. There we go. You see that? It planted the potato automatically, which is sweet. This void that you see over here actually acts as the farmer. So it's going to suck up any fully grown potatoes too. So check it this. We know that we can grow crops in FoolCraft by pooping on them, right? So let's just do a little bit of poopage over here, get these potatoes growing, and what we should see is this beautiful farming station sucking up those potatoes like nobody's business. All right, I derped. I know, guys. I'm sorry. The farming station is actually not going to be able to harvest the potatoes until it has a hoe inside of it, right? We actually have to put a hoe inside of the farming station. So take a look at this. If we put a hoe in there, we'll see this thing starting to suck up the potatoes. There we go. Look at that. That's absolutely amazing, right? Oh, man. Look how many potatoes are already being generated by this. Now, the problem is that this hoe is actually going to lose durability while this farming station is busy using it. So over time, that hoe is going to break, and the farming station is going to stop working. So we need to find a way to make an unbreaking hoe for our farming station. And earlier on today, we made an unbreaking pickaxe with Tinker's Construct. Well, guess what, guys? We can do exactly the same thing for a hoe. And I think I've got pretty much everything that I need here to make an unbreaking hoe. Let me just drop off some of this nonsense in my inventory. What else do I need? I'll probably need a little bit of paper over here. Okay, so check this out. This is really sweet. We are going to make something called a mattock. Right, it's over here at the tool forge. It looks a little something like this. You need an axe head and a shovel head, and we're going to make it all out of paper. Right? The reason that we're going to be using paper is for the exact same reason we use paper on the pickaxe. We want as many modifiers on this hoe as possible so that we can make it unbreakable. So we're going to make a paper shovel head. We're going to make an axe head out of paper too. And we're even going to make the tool rod out of paper too. Right? So let's make that tool rod over here too. And then let's make this mattock completely out of paper. Now, there we go. It's got a bunch of modifiers on it, which means we can come over here and use these reinforcements that we used on our pickaxe to make an unbreakable Tinker's Construct paper mattock. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should make it unbreakable. There we go. Okay, so now this bad boy is completely unbreakable, and this mattock can actually function as a hoe too. I think it's like a hoe and an axe and a shovel. Let's get rid of the diamond hoe and then stick this bad boy in there. And now when we poop on these potatoes, that hoe is just going to go absolutely crazy around here, collecting all of these potatoes and harvesting them for us. So that's fantastic. We got automatic potato production. Now, I do believe, and I'm not 100% sure whether this is true or not, but I do believe in FoolCraft 2, we have a little mod in here that will actually make a pig grow the potatoes a little bit faster if you name the pig Iskallium. So I've caught a pig and named him Iskallium, and he's going to wander around our potato farm pooping on them, I suppose, and making them grow a little bit faster. If he does his job correctly, Iskall, start pooping, dude. Are you actually growing the potatoes? Looks like it. Wow, that was a lot of potato growth there. I don't actually know if this is true or not. Maybe one of you guys can confirm. Anyway, Iskall's in the potato farm. The farmer's doing his business. Now all we need to do is find a way to configure all of this jazz to work with each other so that we can start automatically generating those delicious freaking steak and chips for Team Serious. Yeah. Let's engage the brains. Well, that's starting to look a little bit neater now, guys. I know it's still super janktastic, and the Team Serious cave is a perfect example of the jankiest modded base that I think I've ever seen in my life. But the three of us don't want to start working on something beautiful until we start working on our proper base out in the middle of the ocean. For now, I want to get the bellies of Team Serious filled up with steak and chips, baby. And I've shifted everything over to this side of the potato farm so that we don't dig into the roof of the cave. And I've got a power line over here that I've pulled. That's powering the farmer, and that's also running underneath here, powering our crafter tier 2. First thing that we're going to do over here, guys, is try and make a salt automatically. And I've set up the mechanical user over here, just like we did a little bit earlier. And let's get an empty bucket in there. And you guys can see that empty bucket actually got pulled out of the mechanical user because I've got an item conduit over here with an item filter that is filtering water buckets into the mechanical user. So we've got a very easy way to get these full buckets of water into the crafter over here, right? Things get a little bit complicated now, though, because we got to get this bucket back into the mechanical user. And it's actually a little bit more complicated than you might think. Some of you might be saying, well, Ren, just send the bucket straight back into the mechanical user using the item conduit. Well, unfortunately, the crafter tier 2's output is over here. And that means we need to get that empty bucket of water into here. Now, if we add a pot into our auto crafter over here, it's going to make salt for us, right? Boom. But as you can see, what happened was the bucket and the pot and the salt stayed inside of the crafter. And that is because I have set this thing over here inside of the crafter to INT, which means result of crafting operation will stay in input buffer. We want to change this to something else. EXTC says result of crafting operation will go to output buffer, but remaining items like buckets will stay in the input. We don't want the bucket to stay here, so we're going to change it to EXT. Result of crafting operation will go to output buffer. So that's going to send everything into here, I believe. Let's try EXT for now, though. See what happens with this. What we want is for the bucket to end up here and the salt to end up here, right? So that we can start making the fries. So let's stick the bucket back in the mechanical user and have a look at what happens. There we go. The bucket arrived, but just the salt went into the output. So that's not what we want. We're going to change this to, I guess, EXT now. Let's apply that, and let's just try this one more time. Let's stick the bucket in here. It's going to get water into it, sent into the user, and it looks like it happened really quickly. And yes, all three things have ended up in the output over here, right? Let's try that one more time, see if I can actually look really quickly. We'll see the bucket arrive, and if the pot is in here, boom. Okay, so everything's coming in here now. So that's interesting. What we need to do now is get the bucket back into the mechanical user and get the pot back into the crafter tier 2. Right? So that way we'll be able to infinitely generate salt. We're going to have to use some item conduits for this, I think. And what we can probably do actually is use this connection over here to insert another filter. So if we make this connection in and out, and we go to extract and we stick a basic item filter in here with an empty bucket as the filter, and we turn this to always active, that should be sucking the buckets out of here and sending them back into the mechanical user. But of course, we're going to have to change this connection to in and out also. So let's change that connection to in and out and put the extract filter for the water bucket over there. And that's going to be always active. Now, is that working? It doesn't look like it's working. Let's try again. Let's get the empty bucket in here. That's going to go into the crafter. and the pot needs to go in here too, and boom, the bucket got sent back into the mechanical user. Did you see that? That's perfect. Okay, so next step for us is to get the pot back into the mechanical user, and or back into the crafter, I suppose. And I'm wondering, can we use the same loop for the bucket as for the pot, right? So what happens if we added a pot into this filter and a pot into this filter? What should happen is the pot should get sent into the mechanical user and then back into the crafter, right? Let's have a look. So the salt gets made, the pot gets taken out, and there we go. It's working. Fantastic. So we set up a little bit of an infinite salt generation loop over here, right? We're going to basically be generating an insane amount of salt infinitely using this little system. And of course, that salt needs to be sent back into the crafted tier 2 over here so that we can start making fries out of this, right? So next step is to start getting those potatoes into the crafter over here. And then maybe we can use the potato conduit loop to get the salt back into the crafter. Let me see if I can get something cooking over here. I've been racking my brain trying to find a way to get the salt out of the crafter and back into the crafter. And I think I'm overthinking this, guys. Shall we just try and use the exact same little loop that we've got over here for the salt too? I mean, we'll be sending the salt into the mechanical user, but I think that's okay. The mechanical user doesn't really care about the items that goes into it, right? And I suppose it might slow down the creation of the water bucket, because I guess the mechanical user is only going to work when none of the other items are in it. But let's see if this is actually going to work. I'm going to turn the mechanical user on, and we should see the pot and the salt and the water getting in here. And actually, the pot and the salt are not affecting the mechanical user at all. So that's really sweet. Look at this. That's perfect. So that little bit of filtering system is actually a beautiful way to generate infinite amount of salt, right? Just using this link between the mechanical user and the crafter. I'm loving that. Now take a look at this. I've connected an item conduit from the farmer into the bottom of our auto crafter over here, right? This cable runs all the way down here and comes up into the mechanical user. I'm going to change this connection to insert, because we just want to be sending potatoes like nobody's business into that mechanical user, right? And we're going to switch this one to extract, always active, and that should start sending all of the potatoes that we're farming into the crafting station over here. Okay, beautiful. Now, we've got a whole bunch of potatoes arriving here, which means we can actually start working on the fries recipe over here, right? Which needs potatoes, salt, and bakeware. So once we add bakeware into the system, we should start making fries. However, let's just turn this off for now. I think we're probably going to have the same issue with the bakeware than with the pot, right? When the fries get made, the bakeware is going to get pulled out of the system. And so I'm thinking what we're going to need to do is add bakeware to this filter here also, right? So the bakeware is going to be heading into the mechanical user too and getting pushed back into this thing. But I've also just noticed we got a problem over here. We got poisonous potatoes coming in from the farm, and that's not good, man. We're going to have to find a way to kill those poisonous potatoes. I got a solution for you guys though. Check it out. We're going to be using something called a trash can, and a trash can is somewhere that you can void items, right? If you just put a block in here, it disappears. So I reckon we could probably use a couple of filters to use this trash can. So this is going to be changed to insert, and we're going to put a filter in here for poisonous potatoes, right? Let's get that poisonous potato out of here, and all poisonous potatoes coming in here are going to be automatically trashed. We of course have to set up a filter over here too that is only going to be receiving potatoes, right? Or some potatoes might end up in the trash can too. So let's put a filter in here for potatoes, so only potatoes go into there. Poisonous potatoes get voided in the trash can. Beautiful. Now let's have a look if we can actually get this working. If we stick the bakeware in here, we should see this starting to work. I guess we also have to set the fries to EXT over here, right? It needs to extract everything. And we also need to get the fries back in the system too, right? So we probably need to add fries to this filter too. Are we also adding fries? I guess so. This isn't exactly the way that I set it up when I was practicing, but I think this might actually be a better way to do it. Now, let's see if this is actually going to work. We're going to stick bakeware in here, And there we go. That actually looks like it's working. Let's turn this on again so that we can start making salt. And look at all these items coming in and out of the mechanical user. And look at this. We are actually generating fries and salt. And it's all landing up back in the beautiful crafter over here. That is beautiful, man. I'm loving that. Are we still getting potatoes? Iskall pig. Pig skull. Hashtag pig skull. Are you not doing your business, man? You're not farting enough and pooping enough out here, man. Let's make ourselves a few more potatoes over here. Okay, so that's actually ended up being really simple. I like that a lot. Next step, of course, is to make the steak and chips. This is going to be the final step for us, and we need to get raw beef into the system over here. Wow, look at how much this is triggering over here, man. It's absolutely crazy. It's working so quickly that I guess... Oh, it looks like something might be getting messed up over here, right? It's kind of slowing down. Okay, so there looks to be a bottleneck in the mechanical user. But you know what? It's working, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Oh, man. Final step for us, guys, is to get the raw beef into our crafter over here, right? And I believe our cable... Yeah, we've got an Ender IO cable, an item cable here that goes down into that big chest that we set up last time, right? I've actually disconnected that cable for now because in that system, we are cooking the beef. And we don't want to be cooking the beef at the moment, right? We actually want to be getting raw beef out of this system. So let's pull a cable all the way over here, and this is going to be a super ugly cable, I think, but I'm going to pull it all the way down to this position just to try keep it nice and neat. And I'm going to pull this cable all the way into our crafter, and then we should be getting raw beef out of that system. And then we're literally one step away from generating an infinite amount of steak and chips. Nice. Okay, there we go. Our beef farm is now connected to this item conduit over here, which should be sending items into the crafter. We're probably going to have to add raw beef into this filter too, right? So we're going to add raw beef in there, and let's crank on the bovine farm and see if this actually is going to work. We should now be receiving raw beef inside of our crafter. Let's head over here and flick this to turn it on. It was on, but it doesn't look like it's running. Sometimes Ender IO cables get bugged out and they actually stop working, which is a little bit annoying. To fix it, all you got to do is break one of the cables and replace them. Let's have a look. Will that turn it on? There we go. Okay, so cows are being spawned. Oh, you know what's we're going to have a problem here though, because leather is going to be coming out of these cows too. If we've run this cable correctly though, we should be seeing beef and leather arriving in here. Oh no, the beef and the leather is not going to go in here because we have a filter over here, right? But maybe what we want to do is try and get ourselves a little bit of leather, because that leather is going to get stuck in the system at the moment. So let's get ourselves a bit of leather. Do I have any leather around here? Are there any cows wandering around the place that we can murder? Cows? There's one. Let's see if we can get some leather from him. And then what we can do is start voiding that leather in the trash can too, right? So that none of that leather clogs up our system. There we go. We got some leather there too. And also, oh, there's inferium essence coming out of the system too. So we need to get rid of some of these items, right? So in this position, we're going to void all inferium essence and all leather. There we go. That's going to stop any of that jazz sort of getting clogged up in these pipes over here and lagging the server. But we should be getting a bunch of raw beef here now too. Okay, fantastic. This is working beautifully. We've got fries. We got salt. We got everything that we need. Raw beef too is now arriving. Last thing that we need to do over here, of course, is make the steak and chips over here. So we just need to add a skillet into this system, and I'm guessing we might have a little bit of a problem here though. Let's change this setting, because the thing is, here's the thing, right? Our filter over here is now clogged up. We don't have any more space for that skillet. I'm assuming the skillet in the steak and chips recipe is also going to end up here. Is there a way that we can stop this? Resolve a crafting operation will go to output buffer, but remaining items like buckets will stay in the input. Okay, so let's keep it at that setting, and hopefully the skillet will stay in the crafter. Let's stick the skillet in here, see what happens. Oh my goodness! Did you see how many steak and chips got made there? That was insane! They got instantly made into steak and chips. That's amazing. Okay, so there's one last thing that we need to do then, I suppose, and that is get the steak and chips out of the system. Oh, this makes me super happy. This is so much simpler than when I made it on stream. The version I made on stream was an absolute disaster. For those of you guys who were there to watch it, oh my goodness, it was some facepalm action of epic proportions. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to set up another item conduit over here with an extract filter for steak and chips. chips. That's going to be always active, and we're going to change this one to insert, right? And this should be getting the steak and chips. Oh, beautiful. Let's increase the speed to fast mode too, so that it sucks them out really quickly. And look at that. The steak and chips are coming in, and the only bottleneck we have now is, it looks like the amount of beef, right? Because it looks like we're generating a ridiculous amount of salt, and we're waiting for the beef to arrive. So the bottleneck is up there. We're not making the cows fast enough, unfortunately. But look at that. Steak and chips is arriving. That's amazing. I guess all I need to do now is get these steak and chips back into the big chest inside of the Team Serious cave. And I suppose we're probably going to have to delete all of these steaks over here. We don't really need them anymore. I guess I have a trash can up here, right? So I could do this the good old-fashioned way. Shall we just delete all of these steaks? Because, well, we've got much better food than cooked steaks right now. And even though we worked really hard on setting up this system last time, I think I want to do a little bit of deletage over here, guys. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I could do this. Let's set this to disabled. We're going to set this to extract. And let's just get this out here. Get the filter out here. We're pretty much just going to extract everything out of here. All of these steaks are just going to get voided now. That's okay. That's okay. We're going to change this to extract, always active, and we should see this chest. Yeah, all the steaks are disappearing. All of that hard work for nothing. But that's cool, man. At least we've got some sort of a cooking mechanism up here. All right, let me get our brand new steak and chips factory connected up to this chest. And then, baby, we are ready to start working with Stress Monster on making some better freaking weapons and armor for us. No more deaths for Team Serious. You know what I'm saying, peeps? I may not be the greatest Minecraft warrior in the world, but I sure can cook you a good freaking meal. You know what I'm saying, Cyber Dogs? Oh, man, from Ren juice to steak and chips. That's all we've been doing in FoolCraft, but I've been loving it, man. It's been super fun. Check it out. I have figured out some pretty cool stuff for the last part of today's episode, guys. We're going to use something very interesting to get all that steak and chips into our food chest over here. And we have got an insane amount of resources now, so it's going to be pretty easy for us to actually make some more advanced things here in Modded. We're going to make something called a dimensional transceiver from Ender.io, and this is a really cool thing. This is going to allow us to basically teleport items from our steak and chips farm into the cave. To make this, you need an ender resonator, an ender crystal, and some fused quartz and some electrical steel and octatic capacitor. Quite a lot of weird stuff, but we pretty much got everything that we need. Just made myself 2 ender resonators, because to make those, you got to put an enderman head with some solarium and some of this jazz in the slice and splice. And then to make the ender crystal, you need to capture an enderman in a soul vial and then combine it to a vibrant crystal in the soul binder. So let's do that first. Soul binder over here, soul vial and a vibrant crystal. Let's give it some juice over there, and we'll make 2 of these also. Because it's going to take quite a while. Okay, there we go. The progress isn't too bad. What else do we need to make these things? Fused quartz, which you make from smelting down, nether quartz inside of an alloy smelter. That'll make you fused quartz, which is all we need. Is this thing finished already? Wow, a little bit more over there. This is a soul vial that's empty. Oh, I'm an idiot. I just broke the soul vials had enderman in them already. I'm such an idiot. Are there any more over here? I think Stress Monster made some of these already for me. So, oh, dang it. Ignore that step. That didn't happen, okay? We should have everything that we need now to make these. What's in the center? Oh, the ender crystal. The ender crystal. Ender crystal. I'm pretty sure. What? Hang on. I'm confused. Oh, there it is. The ender crystal. Okay. So actually, I was doing it right. We've got 2 ender crystals. Wow. My brain just ignore whatever happened there, guys. The ReNDoG brain gave up working for a second over there. Let's make ourselves a couple of transdimensional deceivers. Still can't say the freaking name of these things. I've never been able to say the name of these things in my modded series. I'm such a fool. Dimensional Transceiver. There we go. That's what it's called. Now check this out, guys. We're going to plonk a transdimensional deceiver over here, and we're going to change this to extract so that it's going to pull everything out of it. Always active. Anything that comes into here is going to go straight into that big chest down there. And we're going to set a channel over here, right? Does this thing need power? Oh, it does need power. That's cool. We've got some power over here that we can feed it. Let's run a little bit of power into this thing. Here we go. Now it's cooking with gas, baby. And I guess what we're going to need to do is change the channel over here. Okay, steak and chippage. And we're going to make a channel called steak and chippage over here. Boom. That is going to be the available channel, and we're going to give that into the receive section. So this is going to be receiving from the steak and chips up there. And then what we can do is make one of these up at the farm, right? Has this all been set up correctly? There's got to be extract always active. Okay, so the theory is if we set up another transdimensional deceiver at the output of our steak and chips farm, it should send all of them delicious plates of food directly into that system over there, right? So let's get rid of this chest over here, good old-fashioned style, because I don't have an axe on me right now. There we go. Pick up all that tasty-ass food, and let's plug in our second dimensional transceiver over here. I'm just going to say it like that from now on, because every time I think about it, it hurts my brain. Let's give it a little bit of power, and let's set up that filter for steak and chips over here, right? Or no, the filter's over here. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that. We just need to change this to insert. Okay, so any steak and chips that arrive should be going in here, but we need to set up the channels over here. So this is going to be set to the send. Okay, so this is sending steak and chips. If we add some in here, yep, there they go. Look at that. Beautiful. It's actually cooking with gas. That's amazing. Okay, let's go make sure that the steak and chips are arriving in Team Serious Cave. If this is actually working the way that I want it to, guys, I'm going to be so happy. There they are. Yes, victory, victory. I've been killed by Exuma. I've been killed by Iskall, but I can make a tasty plate of steak and chips and automatically send those steak and chips through the airwaves too. Oh man. Pig Skull, what do you think about that, baby? I know you're impressed, because I am. I can't believe I actually did this. This is epic. Seriously, guys, there is no better feeling for me in modern Minecraft than when I actually make something awesome and it actually works. I'm so impressed with this, man. It is so compact. It doesn't use a lot of blocks. Very easy to understand, and you guys can make this in your own worlds very simply too, right? The first version I made was so ridiculous. There were pipes all over the place, and oh, I'm just so proud of myself today. This is so epic. Unfortunately, we got a little bit of a bottleneck over here with potatoes, right? We're getting loads of steak, loads of salt. So unfortunately, Pig Skull over there is not working hard enough for my liking. I'm wondering if we add a optatic capacitor into the farmer, if that's going to increase the speed of everything here. It might, but I suppose what I'm going to have to do is just spend about half an hour just standing here pooping on the potatoes and get an insane amount of potatoes into the system, right? So that we can get a ridiculous amount of steak and chips going. Pig Skull, you also need to do some pooping over there, dude. You're not working hard enough. Oh, man. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. We made ourselves an epic pickaxe, and we are now generating a new level of foodage for Team Serious. Steak and chips in the belly, baby. And it's all automated. And I hope that Stress and Good Times with Scar never have to worry about hunger again, because, well, this is pretty much the best food that we can make right now with our current system. And we're going to start moving away from making food. Don't you worry, guys. But yeah, super happy with today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, remember to hit the like button, okay? If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the frickin' subscribe button. And if you're brand new to the ReNDoG channel, hello, welcome to FoolCraft 2, and welcome to my channel. Hope to see you in some of my other episodes. I've had way too much coffee today, guys. I think I'm gonna have to go outside. Thanks for watching. I'll smell you all in the next episode.